It was coming down in sheets that night, the kind of rain that feels like the sky is trying to push you into the ground. I remember because every drop felt like another weight I couldn't carry. My suit, yeah, the one I wore to make deals in boardrooms, was plastered to my skin, and in my arms, my 6-month-old son Jonah was screaming like he hadn't eaten in days. Truth was, he really hadn't eaten properly in days. I was running on fumes. Grief, exhaustion, and coffee that hadn't worked in weeks. My wife, she never came home from the hospital. Complications during delivery. One moment we were planning our future, the next. I was holding Jonah and watching the woman I loved slip away. Since then, it had been me against the world, and most days, the world was winning. I'd tried burying myself in work, thinking maybe if I kept moving I wouldn't feel it so much. But it doesn't work that way. Grief is patient. It waits for you to stop pretending. That night, my diaper bag slipped off my shoulder formula cans, rolling across the sidewalk into puddles. I hit my knees outside this old brick building, didn't even know it was the neighborhood's community center. My chest burned, my legs gave out, and I remember thinking, this is it. I can't keep him safe. I can't even keep myself upright. Then I heard her voice. Sir, are you okay? I looked up through the rain and saw a woman, maybe late 20s, warm brown eyes that cut through the noise. Her hair was tied back, jacket worn at the seams, but she carried this calm like she'd been here before. He's hungry, I gasped. I don't know what to do anymore. She didn't hesitate. Let me take him. And before I could argue, Jonah was in her arms and she was rocking him with the ease of someone who'd done it 1,000 times. It's okay, baby boy. I've got you. She told me her name was Lila, said she lived 2 blocks away. We need to get you both out of this rain. Can you walk? I tried standing, but my legs wobbled like they'd forgotten how to hold me up. She hooked her arm under mine's small frame but strong as steel and started walking us towards safety, scooping up my scattered formula with her free hand. By the time we climbed the stairs to her apartment, I was half ready to collapse. The place was small but spotless, full of little signs. Someone carried kids' drawings on the fridge toys in neat bins. A 4-year-old boy peeked out from the corner. Mama. Who's that? This is Mr. Luke and this is Jonah, she said. They need our help tonight. Can you be my big helper? He nodded like he'd just been given the most important mission of his life. Lila guided me to her couch. I sank into it while Jonah started crying again, harder this time. She moved to the kitchen heating formula and asked, when did he last eat? I tried to remember. Morning. Yesterday morning. Everything was a blur. He won't take it from me, I admitted. Just cries and cries. Sometimes they can feel your stress, she said, testing the bottle on her wrist. Here, let me try. I watched as my son, my inconsolable son, latched on and drank like he'd been waiting his whole life for this moment. The room went quiet except for those little sucking sounds. It felt like a miracle. How did you do that? I whispered. Practice and patience, she said. You're not doing anything wrong, Luke. You're just exhausted. I hadn't heard my first name sound that gentle in months, and then the dam broke. I told her about my wife, about the months alone, about failing at things a father should know how to do. I felt her eyes on me, not judging, not pitying, just seeing me. Stay here tonight, she said firmly. Both of you. Jonah needs care and you need sleep. I can't ask you. You're not asking. I'm offering. That was the first night I actually slept since the hospital. 12 straight hours. When I woke, sunlight was spilling across a table covered in pancakes and coffee, and Jonah was dozing on her shoulder like he'd always belonged there. Days turned into weeks. I kept coming back, sometimes with groceries, sometimes just because Jonah slept better here. and because I did too. Her son Micah started calling me Mr. Luke. We built this rhythm she'd show me how to read Jonah's cues. I'd help Micah with his Lego towers. It felt like family. One afternoon, I told her the truth. I wasn't just some exhausted dad. I owned companies, penthouses, cars, worth more than some houses. Her eyebrows went up, but she didn't treat me any different. That's when I told her I wanted to help set up a college fund for Micah, pay off her debts. She bristled at first until I said, "It's not charity, Lila. You saved us. Let me do the same." Soon I was spending more time at her place than my own. Jonah stopped crying through the night. I could actually make him laugh. And then I asked, "What if you and Micah moved in with us? Not as employees, as family?" She hesitated. "If we do this, I keep my independence. And Jonah always knows about his mom." "Deal," I said. Life in my penthouse changed everything. No more cramped space. She started taking classes in interior design. I covered childcare. And when my company bought a building for a family wellness center, I asked her to design it. She said yes. Months passed. We grew closer. I proposed with a ring simple but perfect for her. She said yes. We met my parents. They fell in love with her and Micah instantly. It should have been perfect. Then I told her something I should have confessed months ago. Before we met, my company had been scouting for families to help through a new program. I'd seen her name in reports, single mom, 2 jobs, still keeping her kid in a good school. I'd read about her life before I ever said hello. And yes, the night I collapsed, I chose her street. Her face when I told her that hurt more than anything. "So you used my kindness against me?" "No," I said. "I was really falling apart. Jonah was really hungry. But I knew if anyone would help, it would be you." She moved to the guest room, said she needed space. For 3 days, the apartment felt like a stranger's house. Then she went to see an older woman from the community center, someone who'd helped her when Micah was a baby. And she came back with fire in her eyes, not the kind that burns you down, but the kind that lights a path. "I'm not mad about how we met," she said. "I'm mad you didn't trust me with the truth. That's what has to change. No more protecting me from hard truths. We make decisions together." I promised her no more secrets, and she said, "Then let's get married next week, just like we planned." The wedding turned into a block-wide celebration. 200 people, friends, neighbors, my business partners, her classmates, everyone who'd been part of our messy, beautiful story. Micah walked her down the aisle. Jonah giggled in her arms. And when we said our vows, it wasn't just about love. It was about trust, about choosing each other every day, even on the hard days. After the ceremony, she whispered, "You know, people are going to have opinions about us, how we met, who we are." I smiled. Let them talk. They weren't there in the rain. Now, whenever I think back to that night, me on my knees in a storm, thinking I'd hit the end of the road, I realize it was actually the start. I thought I needed saving. Turns out we all did. And we saved each other. So tell me, if you were in her shoes, would you have forgiven me? Or does a lie at the start poison the whole story, no matter what comes after? I want to hear it, your take on what makes trust worth rebuilding, and whether you think anyone can truly start over.